I recently did a video project with a great client who handcrafts wooden baseball bats. And to prepare for this project, I used storyboards. Dan Wilson founded DANbats. It's a local business where I'm at, and he handcrafts wooden baseball bats, all custom. He contacted me and he wanted to do a promo video for his business. The plan for the video was that it was going to consist of two main sequences. One sequence of the bat making process and another sequence of a bat being used in a baseball scene. I want to talk about the baseball field scene today. For this scene, the main idea was to portray a character using one of the custom baseball bats in a baseball scenario. And so for this, I wanted to use storyboards, not only to prepare for the scene, but to also communicate with the actor and Dan about how we're going to go about shooting it. Before going any further on how we wanted to shoot the scene, I decided that it would be best to shoot in 60 frames per second. That way the slow-mo would give me some flexibility in the editing process. Plus, I felt the slow motion was a great fit for the tone of the overall video. Not only that, but the slow motion offered the viewers more time to focus on the bat. I wanted to start this sequence off with a wide shot just to show the setting of our character and where he's at. As you see here, I draw him here on the side entering the field, and you can see we have home plate, we have the pitcher's mound, and we have the fence around the field. After this shot, I didn't want to waste any time on focusing on the bat. The overall video had to be within 1 minute, so I had no time to spare. So I still have a wide angle, but I'm a lot closer to the subject, and we're tracking him as he's walking to home plate getting ready to pitch. He's got the bat up behind his shoulders, resting, and we can see the bat in a nice view. I wrote here that I was going to use a gimbal to follow him while I was walking with him, but I ended up going handheld for this, and I think it turned out really well. Keeping the angle wide, I wanted to cut to the batter's feet as he's walking to the home plate. Then we cut back to a similar shot as before, but this time we're a lot tighter, zoomed in on the bat, and as you can see here, I wanted to make sure the logo on the bat was visible, because we're all about trying to capture the bat, the product, and the brand. Skipping ahead, the next shot that I wanted to get was the batter already at home plate, looking to the pitcher off camera and lifting his bat into frame, getting ready to hit. As you can see with my little arrow, I just indicated that the bat would be moving up into frame. Next shot, we go in tighter on his hands and he's tightening his grip on the baseball bat. Then we cut to another simple shot of his feet digging in the dirt, kind of getting more of a stance and more of a firm foundation before he hits. This is where we introduce the pitcher. As you can see here, I wanted to get in close and focus on the pitcher's hand holding the baseball with the batter out on the left side of the frame, out of focus. It actually would have been cool to see what a split diopter would have done for this shot. It's a lens attachment that allows you to focus on foreground elements and background elements at the same time. It's pretty cool. Go look it up. Then from this shot, we go to a different angle showing the pitcher throwing his heater. From that, our last frame would be the batter hitting the ball and running off screen. So altogether, here are the shots that I had laid out wanting to get on the shoot. Now keep in mind, these are not all meant to cohesively play one after another. These shots are meant to intertwine with the other sequence that we had planned. Now that we have an idea of what was planned for this shoot, let's go and look at how those storyboards started to turn out on the day of the shoot. Our wide shot changed a little bit, but it still served the same purpose. Upon arriving to the field, I thought it'd be really cool to incorporate the dugout. So we started with the subject tying his shoes in the dugout. Here's where the fun on-the-spot shots start to happen. I had him do that same performance, but I moved in a lot closer and focused in on his hands and his shoe, just to give a different angle. These were the only two shots that I had decided to shoot in 24 frames because I didn't feel 60 was necessary. We then added 2 shots of him grabbing his baseball gloves and putting them on. We're done with the dugout, but the next shot was also on the spot. Dan, the owner, brought a couple bats to choose from for the subject, and what was cool is these bats were propped up against the fence. And what we did was we focused on one bat that the batter was going to use And as I was focusing on that bat nice and close, he brought in his hand, picked it up, and brought it out of frame. That was our next shot that we did. Here's where we start to do some of the storyboard shots. Just like in the drawing, we do a tracking shot behind the batter with the bat behind him, and it's pretty simple, straightforward. We then do another take with the camera a lot tighter on the bat and the logo. Then we did the shot with the camera focused on his feet. I ended up not using this shot because I just didn't like the angle I used. It just kind of felt weird and didn't seem right. If I would have redone it, I probably would have had the camera a lot closer to the ground, almost feet level, to kind of give more of a powerful image of the character. We're at home plate now, and we do some more on-the-spot shots. Dan suggested that the batter pick up some dirt and rub it in his gloves to get some extra grit on his hands, because that's something that they actually do in games. So we did that. We did 2 takes of basically the same action but different angles. We did our first angle low on the ground, focused on the dirt, and his hands come into frame, pick up some dirt. That was one take. We then did another take, and this was focused on his hands that had already picked up the dirt and he was rubbing it in. So same action but 2 different takes, just to show 2 different angles. For the bat raising scene, the end result turned out really well. We added some extra spice where the batter turned his hat from backwards to forwards to kind of show he meant business. Usually when you mean business, you turn your hat backwards like that, but we did this so that he turned it around and the viewer could see the logo. To go back even further, in the previous shots, we had the hat backwards as we were following behind him. That way, when we were behind him, we could also see the logo. It's just a little bit of that product placement just to show the brand that you're trying to capture. I also think the actor had a really good facial performance in this shot too. I'm going to be honest, the close-up shot where we show the batter's hands tightening his grip on the bat, forgot to do that shot. But it's okay. It wasn't a very important, crucial shot that we had to get. If we didn't get it, the project would be scrapped. Not like that. It was just an extra shot that I thought might be good. But either way, if we have it or don't have it, the project can still go on. So, no biggie. Next shot, feet digging in the dirt. This is pretty simple. I was low to the ground, and as you can see, the batter had the bat kind of propped on the ground on home plate. And I moved the camera from left to right to show the feet digging in the dirt. At home plate, we also did some more shots that were on the spot. For this next shot, we focused in on the torso area of the character. We don't quite reveal the face yet. We focus on the logo of the shirt, and we're focusing on his actions with the bat. Now we move on to the pitcher. The shot where we focus on the hand and the baseball turned out pretty great, and the shot where we show the pitcher throwing, pretty great. Both of those were super simple, straightforward, and they turned out really awesome. I thought it'd be cool to get a shot of him raising his glove up into frame, getting ready to throw. And so for this, I stood to his left and kind of shot from the side, allowing his glove to come up into frame. The last shot that we had on the list to do was the batter hitting the baseball. Pretty simple. So for this, I had 2 key things that I wanted to do. I wanted to have a wide field of view so I could get as much action as I could in the frame, and I wanted my camera to be low to the ground looking up at the character. I wanted to have a low camera angle because looking up at the character gives a sense of power in the character. And this is exactly what we want to show when you're using a DANbat. We're trying to encourage people to get a DANbat, and we want to show what you can feel when you have a nice bat in your hands. You feel powerful, you feel like you can hit that ball well. So we wanted to show a powerful character, not intimidating, but powerful. We did do one more on the spot shot, and that's where we have the bat falling in the frame to the ground. This was just something extra to show if we needed it. Say we show the batter hitting the ball, and as he's dropping the bat, running to first base, that's when we'd cut to this shot of the bat falling to the ground, just to kind of focus on that bat a little bit more. There you have it, some insight on how these storyboards started and how they ended up in the final shots. The shoot was very efficient and it was very effective and it went really smoothly. Just for good measure, let's take a look at all of it from beginning to end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did, kind of sharing how this storyboard process worked for this specific video project. It was really cool, and hey, if you have any ideas or questions, please feel free to share them with me. And DANbats, go check him out if you want a really cool custom baseball bat. If you want to check out his website, I put a link to it in the description below, and if you want to see the full final promo video we made, that's also down below. I will see you guys next time.